Chicago, the Windy City. The name conjures images of towering skyscrapers, bustling streets, and a vibrant cultural scene. It's a city that never sleeps, where the pulse of life is felt in every corner, from the loop to the neighborhoods that stretch far beyond the downtown core. But how did this Midwestern metropolis earn its iconic nickname? The story is as complex and layered as the city itself. Many believe it's due to the city's location on the shores of Lake Michigan, where strong winds whip off the water. These winds are a constant presence, shaping the city's weather and adding a unique character to its climate. However, the true origin of the moniker is a bit more grounded in history, rooted in the boasting of 19th century politicians. These early leaders were known for their grandiose claims and ambitious plans, often described as being full of hot air. Regardless of its origin, the nickname Windy City has become synonymous with Chicago's spirit, a city known for its resilience, its ambition, and its ability to weather any storm. From the Great Chicago Fire of 1871 to the economic challenges of the 20th century, Chicago has always risen from the ashes, stronger and more determined. From its humble beginnings as a small trading post, Chicago has transformed into a global center of commerce, culture, and innovation. The city's skyline, dotted with architectural marvels, stands as a testament to its growth and progress. But to truly understand Chicago, we must journey back to its roots, long before the skyscrapers scraped the sky. We must look at the land itself, a place of natural beauty and strategic importance. We must explore the stories of the people who built this city, from the Native American tribes who first called this land home. The Potawatomi, Miami, and Illinois tribes lived here long before European settlers arrived. Their lives intertwined with the land and its resources. To the waves of immigrants who arrived seeking a better life, Germans, Irish, Italians, Poles, and many others brought their cultures, traditions, and dreams, creating a rich tapestry of diversity that defines Chicago to this day. Join us as we delve into the fascinating history of Chicago, a city built on the shores of Lake Michigan, a city forever shaped by its past. From its early days as a trading post to its rise as a bustling metropolis, Chicago's story is one of transformation, resilience, and enduring spirit. We'll uncover the layers of history that have made Chicago the vibrant, dynamic city it is today, exploring the events, people, and places that have left an indelible mark on its identity. Long before European explorers first set foot on the shores of Lake Michigan, the area that is now Chicago was inhabited by Native American tribes. These tribes had a deep connection to the land, living in harmony with nature and utilizing its resources in their communities. The Potawatomi, Miami, and Illinois were among the tribes who called this region home, each with their own unique cultures, traditions, and ways of life. They developed sophisticated systems of trade, governance, and social organization. Navigating the waterways and forests, these tribes lived off the land's bounty. They were expert hunters, fishers, and gatherers, relying on the rich natural resources that surrounded them. These tribes were drawn to the area's abundant natural resources. The fertile soil and diverse ecosystems provided everything they needed to thrive. The fertile soil yielded crops like corn, beans, and squash, which were staples of their diet. These crops were often grown together in a method known as the Three Sisters, which maximized the yield and maintained soil health. The rivers and lake teemed with fish, providing a plentiful source of protein. Fishing was not only a means of sustenance but also a cultural practice, with techniques and tools passed down through generations, and the forest provided shelter, fuel, and hunting grounds. The dense woodlands were home to a variety of game, including deer, elk, and small mammals, which were hunted for food and materials. One of the most distinctive features of the area was the abundance of wild garlic, particularly around the Chicago River. This plant played a significant role in the local diet and medicine. The plant, known as Chicago in the Miami, Illinois language, grew in profusion, its pungent aroma filling the air. It was used not only as a food source but also for its medicine properties, treating various ailments. Some historians believe that the city's name Chicago is derived from this Native American word. The name is a reminder of the deep roots and rich history that predate modern urban development. The Native American presence in the Chicago region left an indelible mark on the land and its history. Their influence can be seen in the cultural practices, place names, and historical sites that dot the landscape. Their legacy can be seen in the names of rivers, towns, and even the city itself, a testament to the enduring connection between Chicago and its earliest inhabitants. This connection is celebrated and remembered through various cultural events, museums, and educational programs that honor the contributions of these early inhabitants. Today, as we walk through the bustling streets of Chicago, it's important to remember the rich tapestry of history that lies beneath our feet. The stories of the Potawatomi, Miami, and Illinois tribes are woven into the very fabric of the city, reminding us of a time when the scent of wild garlic filled the air and the land was a vibrant, thriving ecosystem. As we enjoy the modern amenities and beauty of Chicago, let us also honor and respect the legacy of its first inhabitants, whose deep connection to the land continues to inspire and teach us about sustainability, community, and resilience. Through ongoing efforts to preserve and share this history, we can ensure that the stories of the early inhabitants and the scent of wild garlic are never forgotten, but rather celebrated as an integral part of Chicago's identity. The late 17th century marked a turning point in the history of the Chicago region with the arrival of European explorers. French fur traders, eager to tap into the lucrative fur trade, ventured westward from New France, paddling their canoes across the Great Lakes. Among the first Europeans to set foot in the Chicago area was Louis Joliet, a French-Canadian explorer, and Jacques Marquette, a Jesuit missionary. In 1673, they explored the Great Lakes region, seeking a water route to the Mississippi River. While Joliet and Marquette did not establish a permanent settlement in the Chicago area, their expedition marked the beginning of European influence in the region. French fur traders followed in their wake, establishing trading posts and forging alliances with Native American tribes. The fur trade brought about significant changes to the region. European goods such as metal tools, firearms, and textiles were introduced into Native American communities. The fur trade also led to increased competition and conflict among tribes vying for control of hunting grounds and trade routes. As the 19th century dawned, the United States was a young nation eager to expand its territory westward. The spirit of manifest destiny was beginning to take hold, a belief that Americans were destined to spread across the continent. This era was marked by a sense of adventure and the promise of new opportunities as settlers looked to the vast, uncharted lands beyond the Mississippi River. The Louisiana Purchase of 1803 had doubled the size of the country, opening up vast new lands for exploration and settlement. This monumental acquisition, negotiated by President Thomas Jefferson, added approximately 828,000 square miles of territory to the United States, stretching from the Mississippi River to the Rocky Mountains. It was a land of immense potential, rich in resources and ripe for development. In 1803, at the direction of President Thomas Jefferson, the U.S. Army built Fort Dearborn on a strategic site near the mouth of the Chicago River. This location was chosen for its strategic importance, as it provided a critical point of defense and a gateway to the Western Territories. The construction of the fort was a significant undertaking involving the labor of soldiers and settlers alike who worked tirelessly to establish a foothold in this new frontier. The fort, named in honor of Henry Dearborn, then Secretary of War, was intended to assert American control over the region and protect settlers traveling westward. Henry Dearborn was a prominent figure in American history, having served as a general in the Revolutionary War and later as Secretary of War under President Jefferson. His name lent a sense of authority and legitimacy to the fort, symbolizing the United States' commitment to its expansionist goals. Life at Fort Dearborn was harsh and dangerous. The soldiers and settlers who lived there faced numerous challenges, from the harsh weather conditions to the constant threat of attack. The fort was a small, isolated outpost in a vast and often hostile wilderness, and those who lived there had to be resilient and resourceful to survive. Soldiers stationed at the fort faced a constant threat of disease, starvation, and attacks from hostile Native American tribes. The remote location of the fort made it difficult to obtain supplies, and the harsh living conditions took a toll on the health and morale of the soldiers. Additionally, tensions with Native American tribes in the region often led to covalent conflicts, further adding to the dangers faced by those stationed at Fort Dearborn. The fort's remote location, far from established settlements, made supplies scarce and communication difficult. The soldiers and settlers at Fort Dearborn had to rely on infrequent supply deliveries and rudimentary communication methods to stay connected with the rest of the country. This isolation added to the challenges of life at the fort, as they had to be largely self-sufficient and resourceful in order to survive. Despite the challenges, Fort Dearborn played a crucial role in the development of Chicago. The fort served as a focal point for settlement and trade in the region, attracting settlers and traders who were drawn to the opportunities offered by the new frontier. Over time, the area around the fort grew and developed, eventually becoming the bustling city of Chicago that we know today. It served as a vital link between the eastern United States and the vast frontier to the west, facilitating trade and encouraging settlement. The fort's strategic location made it a hub for the movement of goods and people, helping to open up the western territories to further exploration and development. The legacy of Fort Dearborn is still evident in the city of Chicago, which continues to be a major center of commerce and culture in the United States.